I'm Juan Castano. I'm currently a senior at Dartmouth College, major in economics and minoring in human-centered design. I'm here to tell you my favorite product, Medium.
To use the words of CEO and co-founder Evan Williams, Medium is a place on the internet where people share ideas and stories that are longer than 140 characters, and not just for friends. Williams, who also founded Twitter, took inspiration from the bright spots of information sharing in a social network and created a platform dedicated to just that. What something is sometimes different than what it becomes. Williams' simple but powerful idea has evolved from a publishing website into a catalyst for the democratization of information. In this day and age, where political controversies plaster daily headlines and financial, social, and cultural disasters overpower good news, Medium offers information that has not been circulated through an echo chamber, rather through people's hearts and minds. By encouraging fervor and democratization of knowledge, the site appeals first to the writers who wish to inform others on their respective passions, and second, to the readers who, attracted by the zeal of the writers, seek to learn more about society through a variety of topics that are alien to them. On a more personal level, Medium has enabled me to succeed through the sharing of information, and that is something that is truly awesome. As a self-taught designer, PM, and entrepreneur, Medium's always been my go-to place to learn how to do things. It's a place where I can receive instruction, where I can read from experts breaking down hard topics. It's a place where I encounter persuasion, where I can read about new perspectives on topics I care about. It's a place where I'm inspired by passion, where I can stumble upon new topics people want to bring to my attention. I attribute Medium's competitive advantage to three main things: the platform they built, a delightful reading experience, and thoughtful design throughout the app. As you can see above, it only takes a handful of seconds to start writing on Medium. This frictionless posting is arguably one of Medium's strongest features. I firmly believe everyone has a story to tell, and Medium taps into this idea by reducing the barriers to entry. It allows me to hear the thoughts of designers, entrepreneurs, and anyone with the passion to post their thoughts. While reading well-written articles from journalists is great, the diverse perspectives and raw passion I see in Medium articles more than offsets the occasional typo. Despite allowing anyone to post articles, Medium has strong mechanisms in place to encourage quality content. The most powerful of which is the clap. Claps function much like hearts or likes do on other social platforms. The main difference is that on Medium, they're also utilized to pay the writers. When a Medium member claps, a portion of their $5 monthly subscription fee is paid directly to the author. In comparison to page views, clapping encourages quality content because authors are not paid via numbers of clicks, but rather on the number of positive reactions the article generates. The intersection of low barriers to entry and payment on quality content enables Medium to create a platform that encourages original ideas to be born, shared, and spread. Medium takes original content one step further by creating a delightful reading experience. Photos enrich the reading experience and are seamlessly integrated into the articles. Highlights emphasize content that other users found interesting and serve as a starting point for conversation throughout the use of comment threads. Section headers break apart long pieces of text into digestible and coherent sections. Lists allow authors to emphasize main ideas that would have otherwise been lost in paragraph form. Medium's mindfulness and attention to detail shines throughout the app. Beyond having created an enjoyable reading experience, the Medium team clearly gave some serious thought into the initial article discovery, reading interruptions, and the limitations of a text-based platform. Life is full of interruptions. For example, I typically read articles when commuting, and I often find myself not finishing articles as my attention is diverted elsewhere. Medium is well aware of this pain point in the reading experience and developed a feature to alleviate it. Whenever I return to the app, Medium knows that I did not finish the last article I was reading and gives me the option to continue it. It even knows the exact spot where I left off, so I can continue reading with even less friction. Medium has an overwhelming amount of content to read on a wide range of topics. In order to alleviate this, Medium cards are populated with key pieces of information that help the user decide what they want to read. With a quick glance, I can tell why Medium thinks I would like an article, the title, preview text, the time it would take me to read the article, and I have the ability to save the article for reading later. Reading is great, but it's often hard to multitask if I have to keep my eyes on a screen. Through Medium's audio narration of its best articles, I can enjoy the platform's quality content even when I don't have time to read. When you take all this into account, Medium is truly in a category of its own. However, that being said, content creating and publishing are very competitive fields, and there are plenty of indirect competitors from a variety of different channels. Some of these competitors include newspapers, media outlets, community sites, and social media. Like Medium, newspapers like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post seek to educate their readers on the impact of domestic and international events. That being said, and underscoring factual reporting and employing editors with standards to triple-check journalists' work, newspapers are generally more credible than Medium. Furthermore, regional newspapers additionally engage in reporting of regional and local news and serve as a great community resource, while Medium focuses more on the general. Although they have their perks, newspapers have some very clear drawbacks as well, the first of which is information recycling. Frequently, newspapers report on the same topics with the same set of facts. Readers can pick up one story in one paper and effectively have the gist of the same coverage in another. A second drawback to newspapers is that readers need to read all the articles on developing stories to understand them, as articles typically do not give background information or information from previous articles. As a result, many readers choose just not to keep up with the news. After all, imagine reading the headlines about the Mueller investigation without knowing who Michael Cohen is. Finally, to speak of a third drawback, newspapers generally have a more limited scope of topics. They generally highlight politics, economics, and recent developments around the world. While keeping up with recent developments is crucial to being an informed citizen, newspapers typically tell rather than explain. Media outlets are different from newspapers because, like Medium, they tend to dedicate themselves to more niche interest areas, drawing a wider variety of readers. Media outlets like BuzzFeed, Vice, and The Verge add style and depth to their articles, utilizing emotions to capitalize on the empathy of their readers, a tactic sometimes employed by Medium. These media outlets generally decide to use informal language more frequently than writers on Medium, and provide greater background information than newspapers in order to make their articles more accessible to everyone. Like newspapers, media outlets also face some limitations. For one, they are sometimes subject to conflicts of interest. Many media outlets often gain revenue through ads, which may cause them to feel beholden to produce content that satisfies or work in the best interest of companies producing these ads. Media companies also frequently rely on clickbait content, which reduces the user's experience. As media outlets strive to produce content that generates a high number of clicks, headlines are often misleading and the content is lacking. The resultingly poor user experience could push users to other sites. Lastly, media outlets often let bias influence objectivity. For the most part, blatant bias is accepted in media outlets, and writers seek to spread beliefs and ideas, do so even if it means foregoing factual evidence for passion. Community sites are different from most of Medium's competitors. Similar to Medium, community sites edge out their competitors with the reputation of delivering advice to their users, but the content produced is ultra-specific and actionable. Community sites like Reddit, Quora, and Stack Exchange are centered around complex user-posed questions and precise user answers. These precise responses may serve as instant executable advice, but are limited in that because the content is produced by the users and for the users, a steady stream of customers is required to produce attractive quality content. There is an additional lack of clarity in not micromanaging responses to user-posed questions. Responses can be unclear, conflicting, and vastly different in quality. Additionally, the platform of community societies often lack the sophistication and polish of more established content publishers, creating a lackluster user experience. Social media is probably the most instant of all Medium competitors. Social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn frequently provide real-time reporting on unheard of events. The facility of post creation enables social media to deliver information before the other competitors, and as users often have the same interests and reside in the same areas as those in their networks, shared content ends up being ultra relevant to them. Social media stories do not always have the credibility of its competitors. Sensational stories do the best on social media, and the quick and easy dispersal of information can make incorrect or misleading information go viral, creating a problematic reward system for users creating posts. This reward system also helps create an echo chamber. The content a user sees often results from his friends' interactions with different posts. As more of his mutual friends interact with said post, the more the post will appear on his timeline, even if he wants to see new and different information. Finally, social media differentiates itself from its competitors as it forgoes organized content delivery for a stream of consciousness feed within your network. There's always room for improvement, and this rule holds true for Medium. Taking consideration some of Medium's current pain points, I see potential for 2 additional new features. The first of which is a feature that would allow users to organize their favorite reads. As things currently stand, Medium is this awesome fountain of knowledge filled with gems you'll probably want to go back to every now and again. However, there's currently no real way to curate your own articles. Right now, when I find a Medium article I love, I can bookmark it for later or archive it. However, while saving articles is nice, when you read as many articles as I do, it's hard to go back and find specific articles or make sense of what I've saved. Given this scenario, I think that allowing users to create playlists as a way to organize their favorite articles would help add value to the current bookmarking feature, especially if users could share these playlists with their friends who use and do not use Medium, which would drive additional users to the platform. It could be easy to implement as well. Medium currently has a collections features for its editors that could be easily tweaked for its users. As another new feature, I believe that adding a friends feed would bring new life to the current discovery system. The current feed is a mashup of topics I follow and recommended articles from Medium. Despite this, I find myself constantly copying and pasting links in iMessage to share articles with my friends in search of good reads. While I think adding social aspects to apps is normally cliche, in this particular case, I see a lot of benefit to being able to share articles with our friends given Medium's community atmosphere. Taking some inspiration from Tumblr, I think it'd be cool to have a friends feed where people you follow or are friends with can share good reads they have found. I imagine the final product to be a dedicated feed where you can see what the people you follow clap to and share. Thank you for listening to why I love Medium so much. In the spirit of learning and product management, I have attached QR codes that link to Medium articles that profoundly change the way I look at PMing.